Hi, I'm Ross Benjamin reporting for the Offshore Gaming Association. That's OSTA.com, your number one source for information on the offshore sportsbook industry. That's OSGA.com. It's time for my weekly segment on my NFL Underdog picks, and these games will all take place on Sunday, October the 6th. I'm sorry, that's October the 7th. And we're currently recording on Saturday the 6th. So keep that in mind, folks. These lines might be subject to change. Let's start out with the Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. Currently, as we speak, the Baltimore Ravens are a 3-point favorite across the board. The Ravens are coming off an emotional, nationally televised Sunday night contest against the Pittsburgh Steelers, in which they went into Heinz Field as a 3-point underdog and walked away with a 26-14 win. Now they're going to follow that up by taking on the lowly Cleveland Browns. And I say lowly because of past years and Baltimore's domination over Cleveland in recent seasons. As a matter of fact, since 2008, how about this? The Ravens 18-2 straight up against Cleveland, and the last 4 years they've gone 4-0 straight up in ATS at Cleveland, albeit three of those four wins came by 5 points or fewer. My point being here is Baltimore, after that emotional game against Pittsburgh, now they're taking on a team they've dominated over the years in the Cleveland Browns. And next up, they have another road game at Tennessee, who currently leads the AFC South. And Tennessee nosed out Baltimore last season for an AFC wildcard berth. So a lot on the line here for the Baltimore Ravens next week. And again, this looks like a sandwich game where they're going to be caught off guard and could be a bit flat. Matter of fact, I think they will be. The Browns 1-2-1, well documented. Their field goal kicker, who has since been released, cost them the first two games. He missed two overtime field goals against Pittsburgh in a 21-21 tie in the season opener. He missed the extra point and three field goals against New Orleans, and the Browns fell short in that game 21-18 on the road. And then last week, the Browns just got absolutely hosed at Oakland in that 45-42 loss. Cleveland with a 42-38 lead with a little over a minute to go. Looked like they had the game salted away, running for a first down. The play goes to review, and contrary to what the announcers thought, what I saw, and what former head of NFL officiating Dean Blandino saw, they overturned it and gave made the Browns short of the first down. Hence, they had a punt, and then Oakland on the ensuing drive drives down the field and wins the game 45-42. So it's been a bit of a hard luck season thus far for the Browns, who are 1-2-1. But I really like their chances in this game. Would not be shocked to see the outright upset. But we're going to take the small point spread here. We're not going to get greedy. We're going to take the Browns plus the 3 at the Ravens. Next game is the Raiders at the Chargers, AFC West Showdown, 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time. This line is all over the place, literally. You can find the Raiders as low as a 4.5-point underdog at Bet Online and as high as a 6-point underdog at bookmakers. Since we're siding with the underdog, we're going to take the 6 points here, and let me tell you why. This is just a trap game in every sense of the word. I mean, on paper, from the eye test, the Chargers, far the superior team. However, that doesn't always equate to a win. As a matter of fact, this line opened with the Chargers as a 7-point favorite, and despite over 60% of the bets, point spread bets, individual bets that is, being made on the Chargers at bookmaker, that line has come down as much as 2.5 points from its opener. It's a classic reverse line movement, which means a lot of sharp money in Vegas and in the offshore industry has gone on the Raiders here. And, you look at the Chargers defense, they're giving up a lot of yards in the air. C.J. Beathard last week, the backup quarterback for San Francisco, threw for 288 yards, and the Chargers barely hung on for a 29-27 win as a 10-point favorite home favorite, that is. And then the game before that, they allowed 521 yards to the LA Rams, including 350 yards passing by Jared Goff. David Carr, although the Raiders are off to a 1-3 start, got their first win of the week or year last week, David Carr, it's no fault of his. I mean, this is a quarterback that's thrown for 281 yards or more in each of the four games. He's averaging 335.5 yards per game passing. So I'm going to take the Raiders here. I got a sneaky hunch. This could be an outright upset. At the very worst, I see this game going right down to the wire. In that case, I'm going to take the underdog Raiders plus the 6 over the Chargers. Final game is going to be the game that a lot of people will be watching in the late segment of the card, late afternoon segment of the card, I should say. The Minnesota Vikings travel to the Lincoln, Philadelphia, to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia, 3-point favorite currently right across the board. This is a Philadelphia team that hasn't looked right since the start of the season. I don't know what the case may be. Probably the case, most likely, is a Super Bowl hangover. Granted, Carson Wentz didn't start until game 3, but that didn't seem to make a difference because the Eagles have lost 2 of their last 3 games and have also failed to cover in all 3 of those contests. Now, this is a Minnesota team that's a wounded animal. Many picked them, including myself, to come out of the NFC and go to the Super Bowl. They got off to a 2-0 start, but since then, they had an unexpected blowout loss at home to Buffalo, 27-6. They did give the Rams all they can handle a week ago last Thursday night, a nationally televised game, before losing to the Rams 38-31. They ended up pushing that game as a 7-point underdog. Their defense, which many believe was a top 5 defense entering the year, maybe the top defense entering the year, hasn't lived up to expectations so far. I have this sneaky hunch once again, the Minnesota Vikings are going to rise from the ashes here and come up with a huge effort. And I'm going to take the 3 points here with the Vikings over the Eagles. Repeating again, I'm going to take the Browns plus the 3 over the Ravens, the Raiders plus the 6 over the Chargers, the Vikings plus the 3 over the Eagles. Be sure to visit my website, rbwins.com. I have 5 NFL picks currently up for sale, none of which are any of these 3 games, folks. These are the games that I bet on the most, including a 10-star top play in the NFL on Sunday in the game between the Giants and the Panthers. And folks, I'm 11-2 with my last 13 NFL 10-star top plays, and dating back the last 2 years, 23-9 with my last 32 NFL top play picks. So that's rbwins.com. Until we talk again, good luck with all your picks.